tell him that it's pronounced that way, and he would never believe me until
I thought he was trying to be posh.
We were on a BA flight at one point, I think it was, and there was some pilot or something that was sort of walking around who had I think the name badge.
It was an Indian guy who was like cabin crew.
Yeah, and James was like, how do you pronounce that name? Just, and this guy, very unknowingly, was like, oh, yeah, it's Kapadia. Yeah.
Oh, we used to be.
I felt very good in that moment. Yeah.
Those were the good days. We used to just massively troll cabin crew because we'd always sit in the exit row, and then someone would sit opposite us and we'd just troll the hell out of them for hours and hours. Anyway, enough about us. We're here for Tyloo and Ninjas in Pyjamas. Let us know who you think is going to be winning this one. You can use the Upcomer app to do that, upcomer.com, or you can find it in your relevant app stores as well. You can also get the latest statistics and scores on the Upcomer app, so get involved with that. We've both picked Ninjas in Pyjamas. I think that is reasonable. Their map pool is larger than Tyloo. I think that's quite clear. But this will be a journey of discovery for Tyloo on Train, I think, as far as we are concerned.
Yeah, I don't think they've... Well, I looked at the HLTV stats in the head-to-head. They've never played NIP on Train. So from that notion, that should be quite interesting to see that matchup. It's always been a very comfortable map for NIP. We know that. They're a very storied team on this map. They've got incredible players for it. They've really got everything they need to play very well on this map. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this will play out from Tyloo's perspective. I think from the Chinese guys, I think they have a really interesting opportunity on a map like this because strategically you don't have to play super deep on this map. If you have some just basic set pieces on the A bomb site where you can sort of spill out of these choke points, if you can find ways to do that and play that DM type fashion, that's going to be a very strong way for Tyloo to win rounds, because that really just goes straight to their wheelhouse of just having this very fast-paced, very skill-oriented trading game on that T side. So I want to see that. I want to see a brawl.
We're just waiting for Benset to reconnect to the server, and then we will be good to go. Tyloo will be starting on the CT side, which is going in as an underdog, probably the best thing, because who knows how much of a T side they will get. So definitely starting off on the CT side, I think, will be more comfortable for them. But who knows? I don't know what they have prepared. So again, this will be. I hope that we will be surprised. Forrest, the man who has been so awesome to watch, such a storied player, but he's still rocking. He's hanging out with Get Right. He was hanging out with us late last night. He and Taco were massively trolling me yesterday. At about 11 p.m, they were threatening to set off the fire alarms and say that it was me. And I actually, that was I wasn't happy with that. They did troll me pretty bad. Always good to see those guys though. Really fun people, and let's see. I'm very interested to see what Tyloo will do. We need to sort out this Excurate thing, because it's probably accurate, but everybody calls him Excurate.
Yeah, I mean,
so we'll have to go and ask.
And I noticed it's pretty weird that the X might just be supposed to be like a crosshair, in the name, something like that, a little X. So maybe it is accurate. But Excurate sounds pretty cool. I won't lie. I can live with that. So I think consistency is important, of course. I don't know if anyone's asked him.
Sorry, say that again, Dan, because I'm being trolled by production. Everyone's trolling me.
No, I was just saying, I don't think that anyone has asked him. So
we should ask. We at the Minders, we asked a lot of people how to pronounce their name, like Prostor, Pro 100, so on. Just making sure we get all the pronunciations out there as best as we can do.
Yeah. It's crazy though. He's so good, especially with an AWP. Just in general, like he's seemingly with every single weapon, he's very, very good. But with the AWP, he could do some really, really awesome stuff on this map against NIP. So I'm looking forward to Execute. He may be one of the players to look out for on Tyloo's perspective, moving into this train game. But really, they have a pretty star-studded lineup as far as the Asian region is concerned. And more or less everybody on Tyloo is very impressive individually and has a lot of individual flair to add to the game. And when it comes to flair, that's something that NIP have no shortage of as well, though.
I learned a lot about AWPing on Train from watching Device play around the Ivy position. I'm very curious to see, if obviously I expect we'll see Forrest with an AWP at some point. So I would say, generally speaking, for those of you in GoTV, I would keep an eye on the sniper players, especially on the CT side, just to see how they peak a position, because there's different ways to do things. Like if you're towards Ivy looking towards main, for example, if you go up the ladder on the train and then kind of move to the right, you can get a superior angle on somebody who may be standing on a crate looking towards the camera position or other places as well. So again, I think for me, the GoTV picks, rather than being the big fraggers, I'm trying to pick the learning experiences for people, especially with the rise of the hubs on FACEIT. There's a lot of people who are playing who kind of need more exposure to the more competitive side of things and how their attitude has to change in terms of communication and otherwise. So I think if we can educate more people, then we'll have more people rising through the ranks faster. So that would be really awesome to see indeed. And it's funny how things we take for granted, really, as we see more and more waves of new players come into Counter-Strike, we need to kind of re-educate people on these things, which I know Jordan is doing on his YouTube, for example. Anyway, here we are into the pistol round. Tyloo starting on the CT side. Make some... Oh, no one's here, but it's... yeah, we're not in the finals yet. Bentet will be starting with the smoke grenade and the defuse kit on the CT side. Everybody else has got Kevlar. P250 onto Dennis and Forrest. 2 raid bosses. Electro donating the guns.
Heads will be popped, but when and how? P250 fired off on Annie by Dennis. A warning shot, perhaps. Captain Mo, a prospective recipient of that P250, maybe. Forrest as well with the P250. A great weapon on a map like this with those ranges. And Captain Mo trying to make the peaks work. He's going to get tagged from both sides. And that's a good start here for NIP. And
what?
Forrest. That was not Dennis.
Okay.
Hold your horses. That's Forrest doing the job there with his pistol. And it's looking really good now for NIP. No one left. Bentet will be eliminated. And NIP just slowly but surely split on into the A-bomb site.
That looks very simple indeed. I like the bait on Ivy. Forrest moving close with the P250 while his teammate had a deeper angle. So they had no idea somebody would be that close. And that did look troublesome for Tyloo. I do wonder if it's a very early indication of how this one might go. P250 is not just good for the headshots, but of course with so many players on the Kevlar, that increased armor penetration will make life easier as well. You can shoot somebody in like 6 times with a Glock and not kill them if they have Kevlar. So this P250 really come in handy for a number of different reasons. A grenade to follow things up down the ramp. It's a nice angle from DD. Will help him avoid getting flashed should the T's try to push. That's an early advantage for Ninjas in Pyjamas. So much time on the clock, though, to try and get one more. They could take out 2 players. That would be really nice, but Mo has ideas of his own. And maybe a weapon now needs to be disposed of by Forrest.
This is a bit awkward for NIP. They only have 2 smokes as well after losing 1 player, so they've got to be very cautious. Molotovs go a long way in rounds like this for the T side. And Tyloo will reposition everyone towards B. They have somebody playing quite close on A to the forward position, so that's enough information to allow Tyloo to stack this B site. NIP re-smoke, and they'll go with that. Let's see if they can make this work. They'll be so cautious. These pistols can be scary, but I feel like it's going to go fairly well. Not without a hitch, but they've got the bomb down. They are quite weak, though. Oh my goodness. Is there a chance?
Perhaps there is. Both these players are just 1 dig away from going down, and Rez goes down for free because Captain Mo's run distraction. Dennis on the high ground now. Does he peek before the bomb's getting touched? You can see them moving into position. He does try to speak early, but somebody's already there and ready. Tyloo steal a round away very early indeed. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, the first frag from Mo, it happens that those deagle kills, but yeah, wow. This is always going to be a danger when you're playing against Tyloo. They just are very good individually, and we see that here. Everyone from NIP getting tagged up very severely. Somebody with a nice timing there. Too many places for Rez to look. And AK collected just in the nick of time. My goodness, the AK was dropped in the perfect place. And Tyloo still away a round from NIP. NIP yesterday had some trouble in anti-force buys or anti-ecos as well. We'll see if that's a trend this major. Maybe they can find a way out of this predicament. They've opted to go for a full save though. They did get the bomb down, of course. AKs will be out next round for NIP. But for now, they are relegated to nothing but a few pistols only get right with any Kevlar as well. Perhaps they can do some damage at the very least. A couple kills would be nice.
How do they get into one of these choke points? At this point, they have no grenades. And indeed, the defense is paper thin with only get right with Kevlar, as Dan mentioned. So, how do they get something done here? DD holding on Molotov, waiting for a push. No peeking from Tyloo. The numbers game being played towards the B bomb side, but Execute will have some free kills here. Anything above the waist will be an instant kill with no Kevlar. But he falls off completely. I don't think he really meant to fall off oil. Has conceded his position somewhat. Now he's got running distraction, manages to get out into the mid, into the A position. DD's been picked off. He's got to collect the bomb. Move to the side. The default card can come in. Lekro and Forrest moving through the oil position in the meantime. Extra on the high ground. Lekro takes him out. That's 2 plays lost now for Tyloo, but that will be all. And considering how that was looking, I'm surprised NIP got that much mileage out of that round. Thought we would see some more scout kills, but it wasn't to be on this occasion.
Indeed. Yes, it was a bit scary, and the extra bomb plant will afford NIP the ability to have 4 grenades in this round, so that's a really big win for them.
That will make a significant difference.
Yeah, it looked like DD had taken a page out of Twist's book there, chewing the gum.
Ooh, Execute has a decision to make. He had exactly 47.50. Picked up the AWP. He is naked, but Train may be the best map to have no clothes on because so far away from the T grenades that he should not be too concerned with that. But of course, if he misses his first shot, he's almost guaranteed to die. That's a nice one from Ben Tet. I thought he was a goner. And now, he looks away from Pop Dog. I thought maybe his teammate could hold the angle for him if he wasn't smoked off towards main and he could focus on Pop Dog. But now somebody will try to do exactly the same. Will he be flashed in? Just going for the raw peaks there. Looked away for a second. I don't know why, but those are 2 plays lost now for Tyloo. So Execute is around the A bomb train. I don't know where he was when Ben Tet was looking away from Pop Dog, but I feel like he could have held the angle, but maybe something else was happening at the time. But here we are now. There's a man advantage for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, real opportunity for plays made by DD. Oh, that's going to go well. He's going to be able to pick up an AK if he would like to, and he's low, but Captain Mode with the pre-fire around the corner. Electro fast with that one though, but Execute, his time to shine with the AWP. Picks up the first one. DD rotating as well towards T main, whilst Execute tries to hold off this push, and he's not going to be able to do enough there, at least for DD to have time to attack whilst he's still alive, but they are very weak, these NIP players. DD has an AK. They have no idea where he is. Now they know, but he's taken down 1. Lekro, he's got to save the day. 10 HP versus 16 HP. This is First Bullet wins, and it will be DD's. Beautiful triple coming in from him as Tyloo saved the round.
DD is not able to get to the AWP. If he ran right towards Connector, instead of just running straight towards Ivy, I think he may have been able to rescue the AWP, but one will be purchased regardless. And obviously, Execute went for the repeaks on the site. In a 1 versus 2, as he has to assume, I think he probably felt really vulnerable, not knowing where the second player was, which is why he went back to the well there to try to get the job done. But indeed, his team will 3-1, putting the NIP into Eco Town. This time they've got 6 grenades in tow with these P250s and 2 Deagles. So there's a reasonable chance of a bomb plant, but DD's getting more aggressive. Again, he is the king of the eco frags. He can smell the ecoing players coming his way.
Execute ready. Oh, he doesn't get a tag actually. But as you say, DD's on point though, on top of things. Takes some damage though as he gets a kill. Has to fall back and away. And Flames will slow down NIP. Not really able to burst on Tyloo. Tyloo have given themselves time to reposition, and that is gorgeous there from Lekro. Nice start. IP, maybe they can find a way in again.
Oh, Execute's in trouble. He's got a blind spot, a giant one, but Lekro misses the shot. A red miss from him, but Dennis will do the job. 2 quick frags in response from Tyloo, and we've got grenades flying into the B bomb site. There goes Get Right, taking that shrapnel now for us. And the 1 versus 2 to P250 needed the headshot. Would have been enough for against somebody that wasn't able to do it. AWP collected for Captain Mo. And I think he could have delayed the defuse there, because I'm pretty sure there was an AK-47 at the back of B, so it would have made sense to throw it to the bomb diffuser and then pick up the AWP. So they missed a trick there. And again, that can be the difference between winning a round and losing a round. Anyway, they will have 2 rifles moving into this round and buy up the rest. NIP back on the buy, some bonus money from the bomb plant. NIP now having lost 4 rounds in a row. Not what we expected, but in those 4 rounds, they have planted 3 times.
Right, so the money has been really worn away for Tyloo despite winning these rounds. Big opportunity for the Swedish side to reset that economy of Tyloo. And it looks like they may just be going for a simple outside play here. Sometimes simple is best. And indeed, they'll burst out a pop dog anti-main and catch somebody there through the smoke. They know that that smoke is down there defensively for the CTs as well. And they are going to clean house here. Easy passage to that bomb train.
This might just be a save. Tyloo having 2 players moving towards the main position, it seems. But they don't really have any money. They don't really have any money, Tyloo, as evidenced by the information on your screen. Now, Xcurit's in CT spawn, and I think they are going for a save. Don't know if Rez has heard anything or caught a sniff of anything. But it will be containment from Tyloo, which is a smart decision. Quick one from NIP, and they're back to winning ways. Now we will see if they can be consistent. The buy to come will be awkward. Ooh, TD's just tight enough, but Rez is well placed, so he's made a step. 1 step too many. DD creating some space. And he should be okay. Or Bentet maybe saw something. Oh, loses 1 rifle at the last second. That may change their approach in this round now, having only 2 rifles.
Times are tough. So Tyloo, how do they decide to work this position? The AWP on Xcurit. Again, you know, well-placed AWP, even if there's nothing else on the team, it can always give you a fighting chance. But the question is where to place it, and the question is also that NIP will realize that that AWP is looming. And when you understand that as a T side, you can pick a strategy, a way to play the rounds that reflects that fact so that you minimize the potential for that AWP to do damage and maximize your potential to win the round, to be successful. And so for NIP, what is that solution? You know, there's all sorts that you can do. Utility is usually one way to make it so that the AWP at least can't do anything until you've planted the bomb. And then when you planted the bomb, it gets pretty hard for the AWP as they have to close the distance to win the round. So obviously not favorable, but we'll see what the plan is here for NIP. Looks like they're going to throw at least a lot of smokes at the beginning of the rounds. Outside. Bait out some counter grenades if there are any.
This is a cool round to watch Xcurit on the Go TV, because he has to make everything happen for his team, basically. Just going for a pick towards main, not getting anything out of that. He's got to try and be everywhere. Try and anticipate the first pushes from Ninjas in Pyjamas and be there to shut them down. He needs to get the picks before his team get picked off, so they can swarm or collect weapons as necessary.
Feats. Oh my goodness. Sneaky stuff. I was so worried there, James, that they would have smoked it off, allowed CT to go in there and not check it properly. That was my nightmare averted.
DD sending some warning shots, maybe to avert a fast play, but look at it. Down the ramp very quickly indeed. Again, catching him by surprise. Xcurit with a fast shot. I don't even know which one he hit, but he is out of there, and surely it's about self-preservation now. Rez on the hunt already. Wants to take that AWP away, and Tyloo are quickly moving towards CT spawn, but Dennis is close, and he will hear Captain Mo taken away, and that's going to send Xcurit and Bentet in a different direction. They'll get safe passage towards Ivy, but Rez continues to hunt. Not sure if he's got any sound cues. Let's see now. The money for Tyloo is still crap. The money sucks. And look how awkward this situation is. Will Rez move through the IV position? Ninjas in Pyjamas looking comfortable at this point. The score is still early, so not a big deal as far as they are concerned. But I think Tyloo are most certainly on the back foot here. The money's not in the right place. They are at the mercy of their opponent, and they're going to buy around what they've saved, which means DD has an MP9. Can be good at close quarters. You've got that moving accuracy as well, which can be a nuisance, but it's not a full investment here. So they're keeping the money together so they can buy together in a future round. But they're trying to buy at the same time around what they have, which isn't something you often see. You'd sometimes see a full buy here, but that would ruin their economy. So I like the conservative option they've picked.
Yeah, IP, I think you're right. You know, they're doing a really good job. They've made a lot of potentially difficult situations early in this match look not too bad, and they look confident. They're grinding Tyloo down, and there may not be much left to grind down at this point. Get right, opening things up well. Dennis looking for that opening pick in the yard as well, and there it is. Availed to him as somebody tries to pressure towards the close positions. There's the trade, though, coming in from Excurate and Captain Mo. Forrest, though, up on the train. He's found some space. He's found a great vantage point to do more damage, as it is Tyloo trying desperately to hold on to this A side as well as the B side. There's players in 1v1s all over the map. And Excurate trying to work his way around to Forrest, but Lecro's got Forrest's back covered. And now it's down to DD once again.
If he gets into Pop Dog, there's no cover for Lecro to cross because Forrest is in the held position, but can he get down there fast enough? Lecro knows what is possible. Getting a grenade there at the perfect time. DD considering the smoke, but that would concede his position. If he doesn't smoke, he could be there. He could be flanking main. He could be in CT spawn or connector. So plenty of places to be covered. Forrest having a diagonal angle from Ivy. They can wait for the bomb to be touched. Lecro on the site, none of them showing towards that Pop Dog position. When you plant like this, it's so important to have control of that Ivy area for pre-plant, for post-plant. They have that. Lecro pops out and does the job. And the score is tied. Indeed, Tyloo kept their money together. So now, finally, they have a better buy in terms of weaponry. And they've got a fair amount of utility as well. No diffuse kits on any of the players. That may have a part to play in this round.
So 4-4, NIP have finally evened the score, and Garrett's holding on to the UMP. Tyloo with a big buy, and what are they able to do with it? NIP looking for that outside play once again. It might seem at first, okay, I misread the mini-map. Looks like they are taking control of Secret as well, the upper B halls, but Dennis will creep out there. He's found a gap, a space to move in, and this could be very surprising. And he's going to find some legs. Can't follow up onto Bented. His position's been given away. Excurate covering towards the hell area, and Dennis's aggression will be foiled.
Reaction from NIP. Start executing into the B bomb site, but they're not pushing him behind it just yet. Somebody in captain mode moving into more aggressive positions on A. DD, how many frags can he get from this position? Pops out from the bomb train. There is the bomb. That means rotation time. There's a trade from Lecro. Still high ground possession for the T's with Forrest up top, and Get Right's doing more work. He'll get punctured though by Excurate. The bomb's still not planted. Forrest looking for the flank. Forrest in the red. Forrest dead. That leaves Lecro in a 1 versus 2. Can't quite finish off the play in his balls. Being baited now, but Excurate not afraid to take the peek, and Tyloo take the lead. However, a lot of damage has been done to the Tyloo economy. You could argue that the situation favours NIP.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say, I feel like Lecro must surely be frustrated with that last engagement. It looked like he had plenty of time to take down Excurate, and he wasn't able to do so. And that is an incredible shot for Excurate to also finally find the kill. So, a very close one. And as you say, there is an opportunity within the failure there for NIP with this chance to reset their opponent, but they've got to make it count. They've got to make it work. They did such a good job, coming back to this position, and it would be a shame for them for it not to be followed up on properly. And Forrest is going to start things off really nicely there as they burst out into the outer yard once again. Bentet holds down Pop Dog. That is so crucial.
He's so important for his team. Able to upgrade his UMP. 3-on-3 now. All the T's in the sights around that help position and sandwich. We've got Excurate moving towards CT. Bentet going towards Connector, and DD on the flank. Tyloo started worse equipped because they took so much damage. We had Bentet on the UMP, but they've at least allowed it to get into this position. Again, NIP have to have control of Ivy to plant the bomb. They've got no control over Pop Dog. DD's flank has been cancelled, however. Now the advantage goes back to Ninjas in Pyjamas. Tyloo had superior positioning, you could argue. Now that bomb will get planted, or almost. just about not, but the trade continues, leaving Extra at 1 versus 2, where it's the last player into the smoke, but he can't disappear fast enough. It's not Mortal Kombat. Ninjas in Pajamas with the round, and that's going to break the money of Tyloo. Again, at the beginning of that round, Tyloo had a worse buy, but they made it competitive. Bentet in Pop Dog with the UMP got the upgrade, but NIP managed to finish off the job, and that leaves Tyloo with pistols.
And they've done it. It was down to the last man, but they did it. And, well, they probably have a bad taste in their mouth still from the previous time they had Tyloo in a position similar to this and then lost the round, thanks to Captain Mo's deagling, which I think he got the first pick on Ali previously in a round such as this. So you have to see if NIP can avoid that this time. 4 players are swarming the A yards there for Tyloo with those deagles, and Forest will kick things off quite nicely here for NIP. As
beautiful.
Tyloo don't seem to be able to get too many opportunities just yet. Love the Molotovs here on top of the trains.
Oh, okay. USP. It's a 2 versus 3. There's a CZ in play. Bentet waiting by connector. He really needs Extra to stay alive, but he can't do that. He needs him to stay alive, at least to be a distraction, while Bentet can do something with the stronger pistol. Now that becomes more difficult, especially with Lecker on the high ground, but he manages to pass that. 1 minute mark, and he may just find a blind spot to catch somebody on the site. There's Get Right, can't frag him. He was running out of bullets anyway, so he was probably going to die, but there was some more damage to be done. Wasn't able to do it on this occasion. Now, it looks like it will be a double eco from the CTs, as they are not above the 4,000 mark at all. Captain Mo buying a deagle and armor again. That is quite the investment, and I wonder if enough money has been left for the round to come to have a full buy. DD spending almost $2,000, so Tyloo really wanting to win this round. They feel confident enough in this buy to invest more than you might expect. So let's see what they do. Very aggressive positions on A with 4 of the 5 players. Look at that, with the P250 now. Forrest may look in the corner. Oh, that's awkward. Hello.
Well, didn't go according to plan, but no harm, no foul. And Tyloo. This is a potential, or likely a turning point in this half. If NIP can shut this round down, as they should, as they're supposed to, considering the difference in weapons, then NIP will be in a really strong position. Tyloo so patient, trying not to give anything away. And NIP, there's a couple ways you can handle this. Looks like they're going to throw smokes onto the A site and perhaps then rotate into B. See if they can cause a rotation, or what is the plan here? Okay, well, Rezel gets pushed into a forward position just to make sure that there's no one from Tyloo keeping tabs on these forward positions. That would be a massive tell for Tyloo if they could hold on to this, but Rez is clearing out that, so that's not an opportunity for Tyloo.
Ooh, Diddy and Excurate starting to... Okay, they were wondering, but they've abandoned. They're not believing this. They think it's a matchmaking level fake, and the B bomb site is absolutely stacked. 20 seconds left. The bait's coming in. Will they expect Bentet now? He's really got time on his side to 5-7. No!
You see it happening, don't you?
That could have been so much more. But it wasn't, unfortunately, for Tyloo. They were in the right position. They made the right read, but NIP burned the books. 2-round lead now for Ninjas in Pajamas, and Tyloo are finally back with a buy. But as you can see, look at the shortcomings. If we go back to the investment they made in the previous round, obviously experts on AWP, but they could have a little more grenades than they currently do, one could argue, but maybe it won't make a difference. We shall see. Lecco out very quickly indeed. Expert says no.
Yes, he does. Captain Mo looking for a push as well. Rez is on the angle. He'll have a superior angle. He'll see Captain Mo before Captain Mo sees Rez, and that's will give him the kill. Excurate now taking his attention towards Ali, seeing if he can maybe capture another frag for his team, and diligent stuff there from NIP, not putting it to risk. And now with the potential to get peek from both sides, it could make things more risky, but Excurate goes in all the way, knows that something has to happen, and that he's the man to do it. He'll get the kill, he'll back away. And that is a great situation now for Tyloo. Excurate's dangerous. Oh my goodness.
That is so brazen. He is just playing with no fear whatsoever, trying to make something happen. 2 kills for him so far, and only 2 players remaining for Ninjas in Pyjamas. There's nobody on the B bomb site at the moment, but it will take NIP a while to get there, and of course they have to cut noise in case somebody's near Pop Dog and hears that rotation. If B is where they are headed, will they gamble with Pop? Seems that the answer is no. DD now moving into the B bomb site with that timing, as evidenced by the observing of Sliggy. Moving to the oil position. Look at this, it's kind of an off angle where he's looking to engage from. So we'll see if he can catch these players off guard. Grenades being heard, somebody's on a long flank, and Excurate's making his way towards Connector.
Smoke pops, and he lurks by the cold train. And always going to have a great engagement here. NIP going to be struggling. Grenade in hand. That's not going to work out for you, Mr. Dennis. Down to Rez now. 1 versus... What on earth is going on here? Deagle is good for it, though. Rez only has 4 HP. That's a big problem. And Knife comes out, and, well, not much he can do. Round goes to Tyloo, and, all things considered, they are doing pretty well in this half. It's very close. NIP have a slight edge, but...
I mean, they have half the rounds. How many... what can we expect from their T side? I don't know. But they more or less have half the rounds here. Just shy. 1 shy. So let's see how things continue. What is the money situation at this point? Both teams on the buy. Double UMP from Tyloo. 1 UMP almost didn't stop them previously. See what they can do with this. Again, they can choose to play those close quarter ranges. Let's not forget the UMP did have the damage fall off increased, which made it a worse weapon. Just in case that is mumbo jumbo for some. So from further away, it does less damage than it used to. Right then, we have Ventet. It's his turn towards the IB position. Previously, we saw Excurate with some very cheeky peeks indeed. But this time, Excurate is towards Connector. Mo gets his bell rung. And Rez must know he shot somebody in the head, which means that Mo's position is compromised, and out he goes.
I'll play these close positions. Playing with fire. And NIP, they don't actually clear it out, so this is going to work out nicely. Excurate just back up, gets a leg, and DD finishes him off. Beautiful stuff here from Tyloo on the defense. NIP in desperation mode as Captain Mo dives in heroic fashion, looking to finish things off.
That looks so weird with Lecro jumping over his head as he went down the stairs. I'm sure they started with a double UMP in spawn, but then they had an M4, so I suppose it was a misbuy from somebody, as in from someone on the team, not somebody specifically. But here we are, now they do have half the rounds, Tyloo, as we move into the last round of the first half, and NIP appear to be poorly equipped for this one. 2 pistols and a Glock, but if they can... I mean, Train is a weird one, because even if you get a pick, it might be hard to retrieve the gun depending on what's going on. If Tyloo aren't so aggressive, and look how fast Boris is out into the site, trying to tap. But the spray eventually gets there on Ventet, looking for a second frag, but he will have to settle for 1. In the meantime, DD's response is pure aggression, but is he brave enough to go down Pop? Of course he is. Lecro will surely not expect this one. There's 1, there's 2. Can he find a third? Almost getting teased. Rez jumping off the ladder, and we're at 2 versus 2.
Yeah, Rez picks up Mo though, and now DD again has to do it alone. He has the AK, he's got full HP, flash, kit, incendiary. Doesn't get much better than that, but do they know where he is? They likely do, as obviously he just murdered 2 of their teammates, so I'm sure they're not too pleased about this, but what on earth's going on there? Beautiful stuff from Get Right. Finds him, and that'll be the frag in the round and a half. NIP 8-7, and NIP, they won the pistol, lost immediately afterwards for 4 rounds in a row, and that's a pretty tough situation to be in and still come out with an 8-7. So, props to NIP, but also to Tyloo for, stabilizing at various points. We have a very competitive game on our hands, but now the case is, how good will NIP's CT side be, and where is Tyloo's T side? For me, Tyloo's T side is a huge question mark.
Yes, it's a giant question mark, and I'm sure it is for Ninjas in Pyjamas as well. NIP will be comfortable on both halves, I feel, but I mean, what can they really prepare for Tyloo? Who knows what they're going to do? You can say their play is sometimes unorthodox, and that can be a problem if you're expecting one thing and you get something which to you seems a bit unusual. They can play to Tyloo's advantage, so let's see how things kick off. Bentet will have a P250. DD's got a CZ. You don't see that on the T side very often on a pistol round.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's so strong. P250 obviously has that range and consistency and armor penetration. CZ is really good when things get really chaotic. You can kind of guarantee at least a kill. And, you know, Rez in a fast rotation position, but he's going to be in for quite a surprise. Rez gets himself both down to 12 HP, but he has absolutely done his job. In comes another one. Goodbye, Captain Mo. Rez has done such a great job here. 2 players left. They know exactly where they are. Wow.
That looked like max difficulty one-shots. Peppered as they move into the B bomb site. And Ninjas in Pyjamas are looking for that stake. This is... what is going on? Why can't anyone kill anyone? Where was the bomb going? That was the bomb. Extra had the bomb. They could have had a bomb plant. I don't know if he knew he had the bomb or if he was trying to go for some next level flank or something. But there's no bomb plant here for Tyloo. 1 player killed, but plenty of players will have to buy armor at the very least. So it's not as bad as it looks in that regard. But beautiful. You saw the correction there as the player started moving down. He was too far to the left. That's nasty stuff.
No change. Just everything's normal. Everything's fine. To be fair though, that, you know, as a professional player though, you're not supposed to really have emotional responses to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's 1 round, but there's a match to win, a match to play for. That has to be the focus.
Got to stay consistent emotionally.
It was always interesting when McClelly was on the team and he would win a round and put both his arms in the air, and then you see Get Right sitting next to him, just completely emotionless. It was such a stark comparison. But here we are. So far, so good. Ninjas in Pyjamas. Nice correction. Oh no, it's Lecro who steals that kill.
How dare he?
Mo will be the last one. Nothing doing here. They really needed to get some kills, do some damage to the CT economy, but they will do none.
Lecro 20 for 9. Doing the best on the server as far as the stats are concerned. Well, those stats at least.
What other stats are there?
There's all kinds of stuff, James. It's getting more and more complex these days.
Statistics.
It's getting deeper and deeper.
We're in a matrix.
So 10-7 NIP now facing up against a full Glock buy, and they have a couple UMPs, so have to see where those frags go from Tyloo onto NIP and vice versa. Get right. Ooh, they have some fun here if they go towards upper area, and there is someone. It's DD. Goodbye.
Nice.
Good
Right
night.
then. With the high ground advantage being retained by Gets Right, it is going to be hard for these chaps to plant the bomb on the B bomb site. Lecro playing from connector. They're not shy to make all these sounds though, and you can see, I can see on the minimap the communication with NIP based on the sounds Get Right is hearing. Forrest focusing on Popdog in case they move in that direction. A nice spray with the UMP, and it's pretty easy going for Ninjas in Pyjamas. So I think in those 3 rounds, Tyloo got 1 kill, which is fantastic for the CT economy. It basically gives them a full buy straight off the bat if they lose the first round.
Yeah, it's ideal, isn't it? Now, I think typically a lot of teams in a round like this, where Tyloo are, they'll just do an auto rush because you don't really have enough money for the full grenades. So the CTs will be able to win the utility battle in long term. But what you can do is, knowing the UMPs are out, you can have superior engagements on the outside positions with those AKs. So that's normally what most teams will do. It just makes a lot of sense. And NIP know that, and you can see they have some pre-nades to stop any fast rush timings. And Tyloo are looking to throw in those grenades on the A-bomb site, and then maybe they'll put somewhat of a delay in, but they'll eventually get onto that A site. They really want those long-range AK battles. Denied though by Rez. Oh my goodness, he's so good.
Bentet waiting in the pop dog position, but a preemptive Molotov will just miss the mark from Rez. He will fall back somewhat. Nice shot from Captain Mo, but there's a lot more to do. Rez on the site now in the red. 3 versus 4. 1 minute on the clock Three CTs around the A bomb site. One in connector. Bentec could get another one here. Looking for a rotation, but get right far away. Going towards connector. The bomb dropped now by E-Box. They know where Mo was, but do they know where he is? Seems that Rez is positioned accordingly. They've considered Ivy to be compromised. They could get flanked, and they will try to manage that. Let go though. There's a gap, but Rez is there to trade immediately. So fast. Not afraid to die with 12 HP. Going for the trade, and that puts them in a very strong position. Bentec doesn't go for the bomb. 7 HP. Spotted by Get Right. Swatted by Get Right. And there's another round for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, that was again. It's one of those spots where you have pretty much a best option, and it's fairly predictable from the T sides. That is like what you'll do, and in reality, it just comes down to execution. And Tyloo are unable to deal with Rez, and I think Rez did a bit too much damage, and they're playing catch up from that point forwards. It slowed them down, gave NIP enough warning and good rotations and so on. And back to the pistols, another opportunity for NIP to further increase their economic lead as well as their round leads. It's cool to see that Forrest is, one of the very few players that still keeps the silenced M4. It's not so common. You typically see that M4A4.
Yeah, he's playing his own game, not concerned with what other people are doing. This is a pedestrian round for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Dennis watching the body hit the floor as the frag movie goes. Frag movie music goes. There we go. Tongue twister.
Drowning pool.
Well then, Dennis has been taken up by DD. I don't know if he was carrying the bomb at the time, but he's taken the bomb towards that main position so we can continue to focus on Ivy with limited risk. Got some baiting going on in the pop dog in the meantime. Rez wondering if they're trying to pull him out of position. And now DD has been eliminated. 3 Tyloo players remain with 45 seconds on the clock. Get Right playing in the very far back position on the B bomb site. So there is an opportunity to get the bomb planted here for Tyloo. In fact, he's left B. What is the read here from NIP? This is very curious indeed. Excurate and somebody now heading towards that B bomb site. Get Right still playing it safe. So it seems a bomb plant is not the biggest of concerns. It's about their own economy, Ninjas in Pyjamas, and winning the round safely.
Yeah, I like that on the CT side especially. It gives you so much in the way of security. And control burst there from Get Right, and that will find the last players. All headshots from Get Right. 13-7, and NIP is smooth sailing for them. They are set up incredibly well at this point. Get Right with $12,000. Those previous UMP frags really adding up at this point. Dennis on the AWP, and Tyloo, this is their first proper buy with full utility and an AWP. So we could see a very big change of approach. Try to get Excurate in a position where maybe he can get an early pick off. Again, as James mentioned, there's not going to be a lot of data on how Excurate plays this map against this top competition in European competition.
Yeah, there might not be if NIP continue to win these rounds. Here we go. DD making it out somewhat, but Rez is not afraid to be very deep in an exposed position. Sees more players moving towards mate, but he's not expecting somebody. Pulls out a grenade, gets taken out for free. Bentec charging out a pop dog, but the trades are here, and this is favouring Tyloo, but they lose the duel around connector. Get Right holding on to that as Dennis moves into the IV position. He may have made a step there. Excurate appears to be looking for him, but Dennis might go up the ladder. Dennis surely has a worse position though. With the AWP, the barrel may expose his position, but down goes Mo. There's a trade for Excurate, and now Get Right has the information, and Excurate does not. Oh boy, there we go. That's the round for Tyloo. They lose all but one, but they're on the scoreboard in the second half.
And it's scary, isn't it? Because, as you say, James, they lost everyone but one player, and NIP still have a good bank to get a full buy-in, and that's going to be double ups there for NIP. And Tyloo, if they lose this round and the reset comes in, NIP will be on 14, and it's going to be forced by City for Tyloo. There's not really going to be another good buy left for them. So yeah, Tyloo have to win this round.
I don't know how much information we get from that previous round in terms of how likely Tyloo are to win more consecutive rounds because of what they had to do to win that round, to charge through the smokes and catch Rez off guard with a grenade in his hand, etc. I don't really think you can rely on those every round. So this is still a difficult situation for Tyloo to deal with. As you can see now, there's some aggression in the main position. And it seems Tyloo are prepared for this. Captain Mo waiting very passively indeed, but at some point you're going to have to deal with this if Rez does not peek further. So what will they do? Get Rice and Electro in the B-bomb site. Forest moving towards Pop. So there's a lot of map control, a lot of real estate here for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Forest, though, not staying in the Pop Dog position. Dennis is holding Ivy from the middle of A as well. But these grenades will tell a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams often use those to bait out counter grenades before pushing, and Rez takes it as a cue to just check, okay, what's going on? Are they going with this? Is it a fake? What's happening? And he'll end up being fragged. Not much in the way of grenades left for Tyloo now, so they have to go with that frag and push onto the A site. Can NIP stop this? They've got 2 orbs to try to do so. Forest, he understands what's going on there, throwing those shots through the smoke. He'll be successful, but the trace coming in thick and fast here as Tyloo reroute themselves down to that B-bomb site. Get right lurking above. He can't do it. That leaves it to Dennis in a 1 versus 3, and they don't have money.
Wow, Tyloo all over the place. Ended up on the B bomb site. So many smoke grenades on A. NIP tried to deal with it. It was a nice peek from Get Right, but Tyloo were ready. That was quite something. There was a lot happening in that round. So maybe one to review. As we can see here, the bomb. So that's like a giant fake they offered, and Captain Mo really sold that for them.
Yeah, it's interesting because, first thing you want to look at is how Rez played his position. So Rez holds that forward position, and he hears them throwing all the smokes. So he's thinking, okay, if I delay my peak a little bit here, I'm going to catch them running towards T main, and I can get the frags. But they were expecting that. It
was interesting because when Rez peeked in main and saw the players outside, the bomb was on the floor. I don't know if he saw it or not, but they threw the bomb on the floor. So I don't know if that was deliberate, expecting somebody to hear that in main to be part of the cell, that it's going to be A, or if that was just random. But I thought that was quite interesting. And that has to be unexpected for Ninjas in Pyjamas. It has broken the money, and with 4 rounds only between these 2 players, I don't know. I think it's like sometimes you can be guilty of underestimating Tyloo until they prove you otherwise because of the current strength, the current known strength, if you will, of their map pool. So I'm very interested to see how this one continues. But first, we are in anti-eco territory. The CZ and a PC50 are the main threats in this round for Tyloo to deal with, and somebody once again has gone very fast. Oh
my god!
There it is.
That sound as well.
And the tase gun. Didn't even see that one. Now somebody's given sound cues away, and he might be flanked by these CTs, but is there cover from main though? Apparently not. Dennis taking him out. Excret moving through main with the bomb now, and he hasn't got a shot there, but Bentet is there for support. That's one of the 2 players, they know where he is. Forrest taken out, and it's Get Right with an AK-47, but he won't last very long. 2 kills for Ninjas in Pyjamas, including a tase. And Tyloo are on double figures.
Yeah, it's looking quite difficult for them. I was just thinking as well, that previous round, again, I don't know if Rez had a smoke or something, but it would have been really interesting after sort of shoulder peeking and seeing they're not rushing it yet, to like drop a smoke after the other team uses all their utility throwing into A. They're not pushing that, they're not going to be able to push that smoke really, so it's another way to play it also. That's what Counter-Strike's amazing. There's always multiple ways to play any one position. There's never always a good answer. You can never know. Most of the time.
Now it's NIP's turn to have a buy with a UMP. Can they get as much mileage as Tyloo did when it was their turn for that situation? Ooh, the boost just to the right. Now they've gone. Opportunity. That window was very small, but it has been firmly shut and locked. Key's been swallowed by a magician. Mo harassing towards the IB position. Bentet holding main, and the bomb is not far away from him, but it is in a position where it can be easily rotated. With Tyloo have a big focus on Pop Dog here, so it seems that they're focused on a split of the A site for the time being. 1 minute on the clock.
Tyloo making this really difficult for NIP. 3 rounds away. A superior weaponry at this point. Looking to hit that B-bomb site. It's a very slow round from what we've seen so far from Tyloo. And in go the nades. And Tyloo. Counter grenades will slow them down. IP not rotating just yet, though. Still just 2 players here, waiting to make sure this is not a fake. And Lecro's got a lot to do, but the insta-trade from Bentet will give the bomb site to Tyloo.
Look how somebody moves through immediately towards that old position, has a diagonal angle, so Excro can be the initial engager, and now they've got to focus on him. And now somebody will come into activation as well. Moving forward, though, into a very forward position. Forest 1 versus 2, never count him out. We've seen him do disgusting things recently, and he's looking to do the same now. He has a defuse kit. He touches the bomb. The double peek will come in, but Mo will take him out from the low ground. Another execute from Tyloo, and that gap continues to get smaller. Yeah,
and the money's just run out so desperately for an IP. Beautiful there from Bentet so fast. Excro the second kill. Look how close that is from him getting the frag and then dying. That's incredible. He's so fast. And he shoots before his scope, I think, is like fully recovered as well. So pretty awesome there from Excurate. And that frag, as we can see, made the difference. And now it's down to pistols for an IP, but this is Tyloo. Made it difficult for an IP in a round such as this. Perhaps an IP can do the same. 3 Deagles and a CZ left now. A very fast-moving Tyloo onto that B-bomb site. The rotation may not come. Wow, okay, that's fast from Lecro. Maybe there is an opportunity here. Somebody will cover Captain Mo so he can throw nades.
Yeah, I'm surprised he pulled it out again. But they have got some map control. Mo looking to flank now. Swatting one. Where is Foresto? There he is. There he goes. Very brief round from Tyloo, and the kills don't matter that much from the Tyloo perspective. Just get it over and done with. Onwards and upwards now. How many more executes do they have in the bag, Tyloo? That is the question. How deep does the well go? This is getting to crunch time for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They do not want a tied score here. They need to pull away from their opponents again. And Tyloo, again, we look to see what they have next. Now, will we see a different approach from Ninjas in Pyjamas? Will they try to take the game away from Tyloo? We saw a previous round where they went into main. They had a look in Pop Dog. Didn't find anybody there, but will they press on and try to get a man advantage, or will they just play the normal game? Time will tell.
Tension rising here for IP. Double snipers will be fun to watch if they can get them going at least, but Tyloo, they've created quite a lot of chaos in some of these rounds. It's been fun to witness, and perhaps we'll see something similar to how they played the outside previously. Oh, hello, there's some feet showing there. Lecro can't connect though. That is an opportunity gone. He does get connected onto though.
I can't believe Excellent jumped past and then decided to walk into the peak of connector. That was terrifying for him. But Lecro's like, I don't know about this, I'm out. And Lecro's the one who got tagged. What is that? That's not normal.
Yep, that kind of sucks for NIP. Garrett looking to slow things down. Somebody pre-fire this. Ooh, he does go for it, but can't find Get Right. Doesn't really get much damage onto him either. And NIP just trying to do what they can to minimize risk to themselves, but to slow down Tyloo. And we'll have nades onto the outside position again. The bomb is in a position where it can go A or B at this point, and there's players to pressure B from Tyloo as well.
Have a look at Dennis though. He's starting to move through that IV position to try and find out what's going on. There's a pick from Lecro, spots a second player as well. Those are 2 enormous frags. They haven't seen the bomb just yet, but is there a plan B? Then they're starting to flank the main position as Pop Dog is the play for Tyloo, which means that they're probably going to have nowhere really to plant the bomb. The smoke will soon go from the IV position where Forest is, so there's no safe place to plant the bomb for Tyloo. All they can do at this point is run to their doom, and they're doing that one by one. Everybody surviving for Ninjas in Pyjamas. That is exactly what they needed, especially this late into the game.
Yeah, this is looking much better now from an IP. Tyloo spreading themselves thin there, and perhaps the change of approach will be the call for this round. They have enough for a full buy. We might see a return to the explosive outer play. Maybe add a delay to it so you don't go in straight away. Make sure you don't get caught by counter grenades. Maybe throw a couple smokes, force out some CT smokes, and re-execute onto the A site. That could be one of the ways that Tyloo might manage this, but we'll see what they decide. So fast presence towards the upper position. Get Right immediately having to drop a smoke at 140. And he's going to call for some help. Absolutely, there's an incendiary to slow it down. Help is on the way. Lecro's there with the orb, and they are trying to force their way through, James, but it's just not working.
This could be A match loss for them. Dennis once again, he's getting confident now, moving through this Ivy position. He's taken main away, which is so much information for Ninjas in Pyjamas. With the cross completely neutralized into the A bomb site, they will still have Forest and Rez there. So look at that angle. That is nasty. So they feel like Tyloo are prone to trying to repeat the same play, but it seems they might not be deterred from going towards the B-bomb site in this situation. Lecro forced away from the smoke, but now he's got a nasty angle in the upper area. And GetRight's got an he has an off angle towards default. But Tyloo's still waiting things out, which means that Lecro will see more. As you can see, there was a boost there for Excurate. But Lecro has a smart position. 40 seconds remain. 2 players in the B-bomb site. More grenades being deployed. GetRight in such a strong position. He can bait, and then Lecro can cover the cross if he wants to, rather than the upper area. GetRight falling back. And there we go, Lecro. But he misses the shot as well. So the bomb's likely to get planted at this point, but it's still a 3 versus 5.
Easy kill for GetRight. Looking to follow it up. That's a nice easy one as well for him. He's quite low, but he's got plenty of teammates coming in now. Benset with too much to do. GetRight finishes it off with a quad kill. Headshots for all, and NIP move on to 15. They've had a hard time of it, but they are looking like they are in a very comfortable place. Despite the bomb plant, I don't know if there's going to be much money here in the tank for Tyloo. Let's have a look, see how things are, and there we go. So indeed, despite the bomb plant, they're around about $3,000, $3,000 to $3,500 average. It's not great. Great stuff here though from GetRight.
Forest and Lecro on AWPs, Dennis and GetRight on AK-47s. That is not a good look when you have 2 UMPs, 2 Galils on the T side of train. Limited grenades as well, but they have enough smoke grenades for an execute to obscure some vision. Dennis and Forest again comfortable in this IV area, and here he comes with the AK. But Tyloo will start passively, and he may get caught with a grenade in his hand. Does he choose to fall back? The molly will help him. He'll follow up with a HE grenade as well. That's going to be a meaty one. Excurate eating every cent of that.
Yeah, it's not a kill, but it goes so far, doesn't it? You know, you take such damage onto the opponents, and at the cost of just a few grenades. It's a big win there for NIP early on, and we've only got, well, we have 4 smokes on Tyloo. And it's going to be difficult for them to get much mileage out of this play into towards alley against Forest, because you need nades to do this if you don't have an AWP. And oh dear, did he just fail the run boost, or what exactly happened there? That looked awkward. Oh dear, this is not a good start for Tyloo in this round.
Mo and Excurate with the bomb on Ivy, and there's no smoke grenade. Mo deploying a grenade elsewhere, but let's see what Dennis can do in the meantime towards that main position. He hears a less than ideal weapon, and he will take it away. The wide peak on DD, but he'll win that duel. In the meantime, Mo and Excurate moving up through the IV position. DD taken out in the middle of A. 29 seconds. Not really time for a rotation towards B at this point, I don't think. Excurate boosted up, spotted, but it's Mo carrying the bomb. Where is Mo? That's a question for Ninjas in Pyjamas. With 19 seconds left, and there it is. 16 to 12. Ninjas in Pyjamas take train over Tyloo.
Yeah, it was a bumpy road, but they stayed strong, and they did it in the end. And a train, it can be a tricky one, especially I think with a team like Tyloo. I think it does certainly work to some of their strengths, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Tyloo lack experience again.